Hey, good evening, good evening. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Carolina Panthers talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, the coaching staff continues to get ramped up for the Carolina Panthers as now they have agreed to terms on bringing on Josh McCown as the quarterback's coach and Dom Capers as the senior defensive assistant. Very, very interesting, which I will put the link to the article in the description. But hey, this is quite interesting. So, Josh McCown brought on as quarterback's coach for the Carolina Panthers. Dom Capers, who was Carolina Panthers' former head coach, especially when they went to the playoffs for the first time. Dom Capers as senior defensive assistant, which is actually the same role that he had at Denver with our current new defensive coordinator, Coach Ejiro Evero. So, this is rather interesting. So, let's talk a little bit about what they have in this article. So, check this out. It says, of course, Dom Capers was the Carolina Panthers' first coach back in 1995. 72 years old, so he's up there in age. After the team lost its first 5 games, they finished first season by winning 7 of the last 11, and then the following year they made it to the NFC Championship, which Dom Capers won Coach of the Year that year that they went 12-4, went to the NFC Championship, but unfortunately lost to the Green Bay Packers. Which was interesting because that was the same year that the Jaguars made it to the AFC Championship, but then they lost to the Patriots, I believe. But was also head coach for the Houston Texans as well. He does have a Super Bowl championship as a defensive coordinator for the Packers. And he has been coordinator for the Dolphins, Jaguars, and Steelers. Also coached in the USFL with the Philadelphia Stars, which was how he met Sam Mills. But 37 years experience in pro football. Now, he's been a senior advisor the last 4 seasons with the Jaguars, the Vikings, the Lions, and most recently, the Broncos. Now, with him being with the Broncos, working with Coach Evero, remember, the Broncos had the 7th ranked overall defense last season. So, not to mention, they note in here, despite trading away their star pass rusher and dealing with many injuries, they still had a top 10 defense. So, that tells you something. Now, Josh McCown, 43 years old. He was a backup quarterback for the Panthers back in 08 and 09. Spent 16 years as an NFL quarterback, but only appeared in 3 games for the Carolina Panthers total. How I feel about the Josh McCown signing? Well, actually, let's look into the 5 things to know about both. Let's do that. So the article on here for 5 things to know about Josh McCown, which I'll post everything in the description. Okay. Josh McCown, 5 facts. Number 1, past coaching interest. Josh McCown was offered a role on the Eagles coaching staff after playing the 2019 season in a backup role for Carson Wentz. McCown's stint in Philadelphia included his postseason debut and a playoff loss to the Seahawks after Carson Wentz went down with an injury. McCown declined the Eagles' offer to join the staff to continue playing and signed to their practice squad for 2020. Later that season, McCown signed with the Houston Texans. He interviewed for the Houston's head coaching position ahead of 2021 and 2022 seasons, but the Texans ended up going with David Culley and Lovie Smith. Okay? Number 2, a long NFL career. McCown's lengthy professional career began with a 3rd-round selection by the Cardinals in the 2002 NFL Draft. Played with them for 4 seasons. He also had stops with the Lions in 2006, the Raiders in 2007, the Dolphins in 2008, Carolina in 2008 and 2009, the 49ers in 2011, the Bears in 2011 through 2013, the Buccaneers in 2014, the Browns in 2015 to 2016, the Jets in 2017 to 2018, the Eagles in 2019 to 2020, and Houston Texans in 2020. Between these NFL stints, McCown played for the United Football League's Hartford Colonials in 2010, so the UFL. He passed for 17,731 yards in his NFL career, 98 touchdowns, 82 interceptions, a 60.2 completion percentage, and a 79.7 passer rating. Number 3, the Panthers connection. Pardon me. Josh McCown spent 2 seasons with the Panthers from 2008 to 2009 under Coach John Fox. He served as Jake Delhomme's backup through 2008 and played in 2 games. McCown was named Delhomme's backup again for the 2009 season, beating out Matt Moore for the spot, and came in for Delhomme in the second half of Carolina's Week 1 game against the Eagles after Delhomme caused 5 turnovers. McCown sprained his left knee and left foot on the same play in the 4th quarter of an eventual loss and ended up on injured reserve the next day, ending his season. After the season, he became a free agent, went to the UFL for a year, and then returning to the NFL to be with the Chicago Bears in 2011. Recorded his best NFL season in 2013 with Chicago, appearing in 8 games for an injured Jay Cutler and completing 67% of his passes. Number 4, overlap with Sam Darnold. During his time with the Jets, McCown competed with a then rookie Sam Darnold for the quarterback position in 2018 after starting in 13 games for the New York Jets in 2017. Then he served as Sam Darnold's backup in 2018, coming in for 3 games while Darnold recovered from a right foot injury. Darnold returned in Week 14 of the season and assumed starting duties for the rest of the season. And then number 5, his stint with ESPN. Josh McCown briefly retired from the NFL after 2018 season and joined ESPN as a studio analyst, appearing on NFL Live among other programs. He returned to the league in August 2019, signed with the Eagles after backup quarterbacks Nate Sudfeld and Cody Kessler were injured. And that's 5 things about Josh McCown. My thoughts on him, on the signing, I'm pretty neutral, to be honest with you. I can't say this is a great signing, but I can't say this is a terrible signing. Quarterback's coach who was a quarterback. That's really all I can say. That's really all I can say. I mean, I'm neutral. I feel neutral about it. I can't say that I'm, super happy about it, but I can't say that I'm pissed about it, you know? I mean, it's just one of those. We'll see how it goes. He's a new quarterbacks coach. We'll see how it goes. That's all I can really say. Okay. Now, 5 things to know about Dom Capers, according to Panthers.com article. And this is pretty loaded. So check this out. Number 1, Dom Capers has more than 3 decades of NFL coaching experience. Dom Capers has 36 years of NFL coaching experience with jobs with 11 teams. The Saints, Steelers, Panthers, Jaguars, Texans, Dolphins, Patriots, Packers, Vikings, Lions, Broncos. He was head coach for the Panthers from 95 to 98 and Texans from 02 to 05. So he's been in 2 expansion teams, 2 debut expansion teams. Defensive coordinator for the Steelers from 92 to 94, Jaguars from 99 to 2000, Dolphins from 06 to 07, Packers from 09 to 17. Since 2019, Capers has worked as a senior defensive assistant for the Jaguars in 2019, Vikings in 2020, Lions in 2021, Broncos in 2022. Woo! It's a lot. Number 2, he's a Super Bowl winning coordinator. Dom Capers has been part of 1 Super Bowl win when he directed the Packers defense to a 31-25 victory in 2010 over the Steelers. Capers' defense included 4 Pro Bowlers: Clay Matthews, Charles Woodson, Tremont Williams, and Nick Collins. His unit also ranked 5th in yards allowed and 2nd in points allowed, sacks, and interceptions that season. Yeah. Number 3, he's the original Panthers head coach. First head coach in Carolina Panthers franchise history and led Carolina from its inaugural season in 95 until 98. He coached Frank Reich, Panthers' first ever quarterback. Led the Panthers starting off 7-9 record first season, a league best mark for an expansion team in its first year. Second year, made it to the playoffs, NFC Championship game. Final record was 12-6 if you include the playoffs. But they ended up losing to the Packers in the NFC Championship, and of course the Packers went on to win the Super Bowl. But Dom Capers won Coach of the Year in 96. So, I mean, not bad. Panthers' second year in the league, and they made it to the NFC Championship. Okay, number 4, coaching links. Dom Capers' coaching tree includes 2 active NFL coaches. He employed Dolphins defensive coordinator Vic Fangio when he headed up the Panthers from 95 to 98, and the current Jets head coach Robert Saleh, I think it's Saleh, worked as defensive intern for Capers when he led the Texans in 05. Capers has worked for a more extensive list of coaches, including Dan Campbell, Tom Conklin, Bill Cowher, and Mike McCarthy. And number 5, producing Pro Bowlers. Dom Capers has coached 28 players who reached the Pro Bowl a cumulative 46 times. The list includes Panthers quarterback Kerry Collins in 96, Sam Mills, 96, and kicker John Casey, 96, as well as standouts from other stops, such as linebacker Clay Matthews in Green Bay from 09 to 2012 and 2014-2015, defensive end Julius Peppers back with Green Bay in 2015, and safety Charles Woodson, Green Bay from 2019 to 2011. Yeah. Dom Capers, senior defensive assistant. Solid pickup. Solid pickup. But you know what's really interesting, y'all? Look at these hires. Look at these hires. We just brought in a head coach that was the first starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. We also brought in a quarterbacks coach who once played quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. We brought in Dom Capers, who was the first head coach of the Carolina Panthers. Y'all see where I'm going with this, right? I have the feeling that Carolina is giving me that vibe that they're going back to square one. Going back, I guess, to the basics. With the way this coaching staff is being built, there's a lot of history that ties to the Carolina Panthers in some of this coaching staff. I don't know about y'all, but this coaching staff is really shaping up to be something not only special, but unique. And you know something? I think David Tepper is starting to get it now. I think with what's been going on lately, I think he's realizing, looking back, that he's made some mistakes. He's made some bad staffing mistakes. And it really seems like the right type of moves are being made to right a lot of these wrongs or correct a lot of these errors. You know what I mean? So let's recap. Let's recap. New head coach Frank Reich. We brought in Deuce Staley, who's going to be working with the offense in some sort of fashion. We don't know yet. We brought in Josh McCown to coach up the quarterbacks. We're keeping offensive line coach James Campen, special teams coordinator Chris Tabor. We're keeping those two. New defensive coordinator in Ejiro Evero. Peter Hansen, linebackers coach. Dom Capers, senior defensive assistant. Whew, man. I must say, y'all, it's this coaching staff is really shaping up. And with how aggressive they are with these pickups, just wait until it comes down to the player personnel. Free agency, and the draft. I mean, even when you think about quarterback, bring in a new quarterbacks coach, new head coach. I really feel like they are going to be extremely aggressive in getting the quarterback that they really, really want. Defense. Coach Reich wants a top 5 defense. And when you have somebody on your squad that once coached a top 10 defense last season, and Coach Avero had linebacker coach Hansen with him, had Dom Capers with him, who has won a Super Bowl as a defensive coordinator. You see how it's adding up? The right kind of moves are being made so far. The only thing we can hope is that this also translates into the player personnel picking up. That will also translate to the execution. But I got a strong feeling we're going to see a much different team that we're probably not used to seeing or haven't been used to seeing in a while. Only time will tell, though. Only time will tell. But that's all that I have for now. Like I said, don't forget to check out Game Beauty. Impressive line of makeup and cosmetic products. If you're interested in making a purchase, use that promo code BlitzballChamp. You can get 10% off. But yeah, what do y'all think about these pickups? What do you think about Carolina getting senior defensive assistant Dom Capers and Josh McCown as quarterbacks coach? Let me know what your thoughts are. What do you think of how this coaching staff is shaping out? You like it? You hate it? Let me know what your thoughts are. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell while you're at it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. For another Carolina Panthers talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming. You're on the U to the Tube. My name is Jason Ingram, and hope everybody has a blessed weekend, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace out.